Your mom is just two words. You know, you shouldn't be triggered or affected by that. I'm here at iconic the Fox News building, where in between, like instead of in between two ferns, I'm in between two flags. I don't know if you can see them. That's the American flag, and that's the Fox News flag. And I'm just resting here because my shoulder hurts, and there's all these people yelling, but that's all right. That's normal in New York. So like Israel stuff, it's all a big stunt. I talked with this person, Sab. It was like, I value my PFP more than victims. And the vanity, like King of Solomon's book, Ecclesiastes or something. Basically, there, like, all is vanity. However, I learned something from vanity. Like this is an exercise in vanity. I can see myself in the camera. My face is all greasy, and then I got this scraggly ass beard. I'm wearing something like a disaster or fashion show, like a NASCAR guy or something. Not that I want to be like NASCAR, because you have to be a good driver to drive in NASCAR or any racing games to be a true racist. You know, you got to be really good at all the things. Like that's athleticism right there. You know what I'm saying? People walk by and then they just see an obstacle, and then they juke around it. So I was like, caught that. A lot of times you don't know who's a man or a woman, but you do know who's a kid because they'll tell you, "Hey, man, that's a kid." Okay, that's now I know what kids look like. Uh, my greatest fear is actually children because I don't know. Like, what do you eat? What do you consider fun in all this? What programs are not allowed? And they should come with a manual. And it's other people's kids because you have to interact with them. It's like you're riding your bike and then like through a prep school or a kindergarten. You got to know what kids want. Do you want to go left or right? No. So it's like no left and no right. Once they learn the word no, it's like the terrible twos. And then, Jesus is like, suffer all the little children to come to me, but then they know how to say no. Do you want to go to Jesus? No. uh, it's like, do you want to be arrested? No. As an adult, you say no a lot. Do you want to be tackled to the ground and your knee, like, broken or crying like what I saw on X, what's his name, George Floyd, and he's like, man, I just want to go home to my family, but he has warrants out and he's like carrying some stuff, and the guy was just like, I was just gonna ticket you for a counterfeit bill. Nobody believes this, but both it goes for both sides. The way AI is, like, first you can do a high quality, now make it look like a couple of body cam. You know what I mean? We have all the elements. Just rough it up a bit. This you can paint a painting and then take some mud and then smear it. I was like, oh my god, we found it. You know. Also, I don't like these paper straws in McDonald's. It's not good. Apparently, there's something like the Wimbledon of soccer here, or football. It's all the same to me. Even this like hand egg thing. Wow, that really hurts. Like, halting. Are you halting your soccer? No, you're not. Or football. Basically, today, as my all new revelation to myself, is that I discovered that wife is a four-letter word. So, like, wife you mother wifing wife, like that, And then mother wifing is just like incest. My mother is also my wife. That's why I proved to myself I'm not an incestuous fuck, but because I stare at other like people. You know, incest seems to like guarantee the like bad things. It looks like it makes sense to some people because we grew up together and we have so much in common. But then your kids have like 9 toes or 15 penises. Who knows? Once you're okay with losing your kid losing a toe, you might as well accept that he might have 9 hearts or an ungodly amount of hearts. You know, or he might be addicted to smoking and phone. Who the fuck knows, man? That's my addiction. Is trying to break him. I mean, the police are very, very, very kind. As long like they don't help me, but they don't hurt me, unless I engage. And in New York, it's all about kindness, not niceness. It would be nice to have money, but it's very kind to know that before I was irresponsible with money, and now I don't get money. That's the difference between nice and kind. Like you squandered your inheritance, we're not going to give you any more money. That's not nice. It's very kind. You know? How about all the feelings of the people who gave you that money in the first place? They're not like made out of stone. Even if they have no feelings, they have expectations. There's something always they can take the place of feelings. Here I am just trying to work out all these like ligaments in my neck. And it feels like Our Lady Endure of Knots, please. I don't even know how to pray to that one. Just like, Mom, help, like that. But then Louis C.K. just lectured me. It's like, leave the dead people alone. Like, she did her job until death. So just leave your mom alone if she's dead. You know? And so, thanks, Mom, for all the help. Like, my mom was in 2012. And then I know my mom's birthday and her death day. But I forgot all the other people's death day. But we all serve, as Catholics, a living God. Focus on the survivors, man. There'll be time to mourn when we're all like, oh, so it didn't work. We got resurrected. I was worried to death. But if it's a final death, leave them alone. Me, I always call upon my mom, but, there's always going to be interference. I'm your mom. No, you're not. You don't even smell like my mom. You know what I mean? If my mom wanted to help me, I'd be like, Mom, no. You've done enough. And it's not the bad way, it's the good way. Like Louis C.K. said, they helped you until they died. What more do you fucking want? Great, I have a chatter. Or like, are you lost, son? I'm old enough to be your dad. This isn't really like, cool stuff. Like, this is just me. Thank you. The person left. And the people like who are in the evening, they don't have notifications on for me at all. They're used to their habits, like complaining about their life or the lack of drugs or synchronizing gaming, which I really hated, by the way. When you're playing World of Warcraft, you have to think about time zones, and then they think about the raid composition. If it's all family, they're going to be fighting because you have to treat equal. Oh God. Hello, you're lost, aren't you? You can leave. So anyway, I was talking to myself, I need expert advice. And I was thinking about raid composition. Now, if you raid or guild up with your family a game, it's like playing Monopoly. There will be irreparable rifts. Let's say like you missed your sap, and then you have to have a breakfast the next day. Well, if it is in the sap missile, like that, and it's bad enough to have real life arguments like you didn't flush the toilet. Now we wiped on the boss when it was most like you let me down. These games are the kind of things that ruin families, unless you have a very strong nuclear family. Now let me tell you, my family isn't. Like there's a lot of infighting, and like all families, it happens. That's what marriage is all about, I think. Like you're so sick of your family, you find another person who's also sick of their family. And now at least you're not related. And you put your penis in her vagina, and then that's a problem too. Sometimes when it doesn't fit, it's like for my wife, for her to enjoy it all the way, I have to remove her legs. Not that I'm saying like I'm very skinny. It's just not like physically possible for me to maximize my wife's pleasure. That's what studs are all about. And you spend all your time with these studs, and then they leave you. Not because you suck, but because they're better than you. So, while I'm here, I might as well focus on the news. Thank you, by the way. These polls are very great. So you can see, like, if you ever in New York, and these are meant to be seen. She had allergic reaction, was conscious at hospital. Fox News Channel. AG in contempt. Florida judge finds state's attorney general James Lithmeyer in contempt. I'm just waiting for the word all. I like maybe 10,000 words later, you'll see all. I don't think it's gonna happen. Immigration came up, but not all. I'll probably wait like 15 minutes before anything that remotely resembles all. Allergies was pretty much their only nod to it. Criminalizes undocumented immigrants on their arrival in Florida. Recipe change. Kraft Heinz to remove artificial food dyes from all. There he is. There you go. You see the all? Boom. So it came. However, like an idiot, I had the camera off. This cements the fact that I am a moron. I wasn't sure, but then it's like, hey, stupid, the camera is off. Well, I'm a moron. I tried to escape from that. Maybe I'm going to make a little thing like, hello, I am a moron, and you all know it. And basically, just another diary entry in all this. And I'm back. I wonder if I can squeeze in or squeeze out. Hello, I am a moron, now you all know. I just did that on notes. It's very easy to do things with an iPhone. I'm going to end the stream, and one person who wandered in here, please find other people because I'm a moron, now you all know. Go learn something useful in like Bitcoin or stuff. Now there's 2 people. Why are you here? Bye. Now there's 3. Goodbye, 3 people. You are the Trinity.